All right.
What's going on here today, sir?
Oh man, just making community magic. Really just out here with Sporting JAX, just to talk about the Stateside Cup. Let you guys know about that we'll be hosting over around 300 kids. Just let me start over. Just to talk about the Stateside Cup, that we'll be hosting a sports clinic for around 300 kids, ages 4 through 18, boys and girls. Just another opportunity to engage the community with soccer. The World Cup is just around the corner. The Stateside Cup, what you have two English Premier League clubs that'll be here. I think it's just a good merger, to be able to host a clinic. When I joined the ownership team here with Sporting Club JAX, my purpose was and my vision was the roadmap that they had set out was to make sure they included the community. Those that are less privileged. We speak about lift every voice. And making sure we're all inclusive to all areas of the First Coast. So to be able to have a sports clinic, you talk about youth development. I think that's a big thing. So really just find different ways to give back, and I believe we're going to do that with this clinic.
Fred, back in your day, it was you had to send the Jags out to clinics like this to get the kids, to teach the kids.
Mhm.
Now you've got two legendary British soccer teams coming here
Mhm.
and giving 300 kids the chance to learn from them before they watch them in action. How important is that for soccer, for kids, and for the future of soccer in Jacksonville?
I mean, the future of soccer in America is bright. It's extremely bright. And we've known Jacksonville to be, a community that's developed so many great, soccer players. They've lent their soccer talents to the Olympic team, etc. So, just to have an opportunity to capture these kids at such a young age, again, it goes back to the development side of things. If there's going to be a future, you want to make sure you're developing these young stars right in your community, right in your backyard. So I think this initiative is awesome. The Stateside Cup is brilliant. I have an opportunity to see the Wolves and West Ham United go at it according to Cole, and I'm still engaging and learning a bit more all things soccer. This is the first time that we've ever hosted two Premier League clubs here in the country, in Jacksonville. So I think that in itself, is appealing. And then you wrap around the youth clinic just before the game. The youth clinic will be 5 to 6 p.m. and soon following that, an hour later at 7 p.m., you'll have the match itself. So, and again, it's an opportunity for the community that I've known for the past 26 years. We love our sports here. They'll get out. If you're going to flip quarters, they'll get out and watch it. So it's better off to get out and watch kids run around, watch them be exuberant and enjoying themselves, and then get out and watch, a rare match that has never happened here. So I believe it's a beautiful moment.
Fred, spending your morning with these athletes, I mean, I know that we said that they're refugees. How do you think the role of soccer is not only helping them maybe, build that structure with their own life, but also making them feel like they're a part of our community here in Jacksonville?
Sports has always been, that common denominator. Sports has shown to break down barriers of racism. Sports, it just creates this family, environment and atmosphere. And soccer being one of those growing sports, the fastest growing sport here in the country, and giving these kids an outlet. They have a safe space where they can meet friends and, have an opportunity to grow up around each other and feel wanted. I think that's what it's all about. And for me, I considered going out there to try and dribble and mess around with them, but the way these hamstrings are set up from my playing days, I'll catch them down the road. But just to see the smiles on their faces, for me, that's joy. It brings joy to my heart. So again, the roadmap, when I was pitched an opportunity to join the leadership group with Sporting JAX, they just had to talk about community and kids. And that's what it's always been about for me. And it'll be you give me more of my opportunity to work close with the communities, to do things, around the team that will find ways to give back to the kids of the community. So that's a big piece.
How's it been so far?
It's been good. Been good. Still feel like I am in my rookie year playbook. When I first got in the NFL, the playbook was this thick. Then over the course of the years, it kind of shrunk in my mind. It was still this thick, but in my mind because I was a lot more aware and I understood the game better. But here, it's a new venture for me. I'm always open and transparent. It's a new venture for me. So I find myself watching matches. Obviously, being in South Florida a lot, they Messi's in our face. So following following Messi and his career, just seeing Argentina the other night play, watching the U.S. play on Sunday, just any opportunity I find myself to be able to catch a match, I try and dive in. So that way it's just going to help my knowledge of the game and all that other stuff. But Steve Livingston, Ricky Kaplan, those guys, they handle like the big meat of it all. And they'll, send back to me what's going on, the new updates, development, all this other stuff. So Cole as well, he gave me a lesson this morning on the way over, all the different leagues, the different levels and stuff. So I'm still learning as I go. But again, my heart, above all of that, is what I can do in the community to sort of tie the community into the team. That's my goal. That's my number one goal.
Have you heard this community that you cannot get your thoughts on the team that plays over here? What you think going into the year?
Obviously, much like I'm the same way every year. I'm not the perfect fan to ask that question because I'm the most optimistic person probably in the world by nature. And then when it comes to the Jaguars, I know every season is a fresh reset. No matter the moves in the off season, it's always about that build-up, that excitement. And then you get in the season, it's the same thing from Sunday to Sunday. There's some ups, highs, and there's some lows, but you always build it back up no matter where you are. My opinion on this team, I like the moves that they've made. I think they addressed a lot of the positions. I think the line will be better this year. Hopefully the running game will come back and be better. I know last year a few situations didn't allow for them to be as successful as they was the previous year. But I think if Trevor stays healthy, they'll give themselves a better opportunity. Last year, guys kind of took turns of being injured, and they never got in a nice rhythm and a nice sync. And after the 8-3 start, that sort of showed on the back end. This year, hopefully, with a little luck, hopefully the ball can bounce their way the right way. Hopefully, Doug can put together some of those magical play calls we're used to seeing him make. And they got to execute and win. At the end of the day, it comes down to wins and losses. The fans, we can all go through this and play in our head the perfect situations and these outcomes. You can throw all of that out the door. If you're not winning, if you don't have more wins than losses, you kind of tank the whole season. But we're 0-0 now, and I'm always the optimistic one. So hopefully they can go out there, win the division, playing a tough Texans team who rebuilt. They did amazing in the offseason. The Titans went and made some strong moves. So on paper, it seems that we're third right now in the division based on the moves and the acquisitions and the talent level. But teams got to get out there and play. You still got to make the plays on Sunday. You just got to stay healthy. Got to have a bit of luck. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Are you going to be this optimistic when the Sporting JAX starts?
I am. We have a great leadership group. The roadmap that they laid out for me was, again, a lot more important than the soccer itself. Although, as I continue to learn the game, I'm going to always root for us. I'm going to always root for any team that comes out of Jacksonville. But the leadership group, I believe in what they're capable of doing. I believe in the city being able to meet our needs and vice versa. So we just got to create a great partnership together and show them that this can work. And we'll see. But yes, I will be optimistic.
Can you tell about the organization these kids here are with?
Excuse me?
Can you talk about the organization these kids here are with?
You know, just the kids themselves. Just going back to creating a safe space for them. You know, because they've been through at this early stage in their lives, being refugees. You know, the world is one big crazy place, but they found a landing spot in a safe community for them. Come on, like that's really what it's all about. Giving kids an opportunity, giving them a chance at life, and me personally, I'm grateful and thankful for it.
There's a lot of talk about the building next door to here. I know place where you've got a lot of memories here. What are your thoughts about what the renovation talk is doing? Just some of the memories you've had here, and what your hopes are for what goes on in the future there.
Well, the first year Shad took over, I came back and I was jealous of the locker room, just the bathroom stall. I thought that was a major upgrade. And then I saw the waterfall, and then I saw it reminded me of a spa. And that little renovation I was jealous of. And then the pools came out. And then everything started to beautify, and the team started to play better and perform better. The community was engaged. And the stadium is just that meeting place for the entire community. And the more they beautify it and the more they modernize it, I think, you know, you'll excite people just to come, because what you're giving them is a piece of them. You know, they're building a beautiful place for the community, and hopefully in return, it'll produce a winning organization. You know, those things don't always marry up, but usually that's why you make those investments to get a return. But I think it's overdue. It's time. I believe the city leaders, along with Shad, Mr. Khan, and the Jags, they'll get it done right. I believe it'll be passed in a couple years. You'll have a up-to-date stadium that resembles the other beautiful stadiums. I'm talking about not just looks, but technology. You know, you got to have the technology in there. That's the way the world is evolving, with all the AI and all this other stuff. So I think it's time. This stadium, the foundation of it's been here, Cole. How long has the Citrus Bowl? How?
Well, you go to Gator Bowl back
I
1933.
mean, you're the Gator Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was thinking about the Citrus Bowl because we were just
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
the Citrus Bowl. But no, the Gator Bowl has been years and years old. So they have to make sure they get in there and beautify it, so that way it's here for another 100 years or so.
Anybody else? Anything? Okay.
Yep.
They have the rats when you
Thank you.
Some rats was in there.